What's up, team? Doing a video here, as is obvious by the fact that you're watching the video. I intend to post this. I made another video with these same topics in mind earlier, a couple days ago, but I didn't like the way that it came out. It had been too long. I was too rusty. I couldn't get my timing correct. It was too much thinking, not enough talking, and it just didn't come out right. It came out real herky-jerky. And so anyway, so this is the second attempt, and it should be a lot better. That's what we're hoping. The main topic for today is a movie called Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Most of you have probably seen it. If not, spoiler alert. And you've been warned. I'm going to talk freely about it, and if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. Although I don't think I'm going to be giving... No, I'm definitely giving plot lines away, so if you haven't seen it, you may want to just tune this one out. But anyway, I liked the movie. I liked the movie a lot. I thought it was real clever. It's about, the basic gist of the movie is there's this guy who's in a relationship, Jim Carrey, with Kate Winslet, and they fall in love, but then it goes awry, and she has this procedure done where her memory is wiped of everything relating to him, so it helps her get over it. And then he goes up and he sees her at like a store, and he starts talking to her after they've broken up, and she doesn't recognize him. And he's like, what the hell's going on? And then he finds out about the procedure, and he gets it done too. And that's the sci-fi part of the movie. But it's a pretty good look at relationships, especially Kate Winslet's character. Now, don't get me wrong. I despise the woman that she's playing. But she serves as a great example for the type of bullshit that you see out there on the battlefield, as Pat Benatar would say. So it's a good look behind enemy lines, is the type of mentality, personality that you're going to see out there in the field. Now, what I didn't like about her, now that's what we're talking about now. What is not to like about this woman? Okay, lots. First thing, she is an adult woman. I don't know how old she is, because Kate Winslet has looked old since she was young, but now she's probably legitimately old, so she looks the same. But I remember she was in Titanic, and that was like 20 years ago. So she must be, I don't know, like 40 or something now. Who's to say? She looks the exact same as she did then, which is to say not very good. But she goes above and beyond in this movie because her character has this dyed hair. And that's the first thing I don't like about her, because her hair reflects her mood, like some fucking ring that changes color when you're upset. So at first she starts off, and I think she has, first of all, her name's Clementine. And let that be a lesson to all those parents out there who are naming their kids these weird names after fruits and animals and mythological creatures. I know for a fact, actually I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that there's some Hollywood kid out there. Gwyneth Paltrow, I think her kid is named Apple. And, you're just making a problem. When you do that, you're just creating a problem that could have been avoided very easily by not naming the child after a fruit. But these goddamn celebrities, they just have no wherewithal about them, and they're just introducing bullshit into the planet that doesn't need to be there. It would be like... it's like taking a dump in your fucking... in your drinking water. You know, every time you name a kid after a fruit, it's basically saying, fuck you to everybody else, and I'm going to do what I want, and then here's the result. So, this character named Clementine in the movie, and I want to be straight, like, Kate Winslet, I don't have a problem with her because she did a good job playing a fucking cunt of a character. but it's the character that's so realistic, that's so upsetting. So you got to separate. That's the trouble with actors, is sometimes we, as lay people, imagine that the actors are the people that we see on screen. That's not the case. We have to give them the benefit of the doubt. And so yeah, this woman, Clementine, with her fucking dyed hair that reflects her mood, it starts off as orange because she's happy-go-lucky and just this carefree spirit. And just, you know, is there anything worse than a carefree adult? If you're past the age where it ends in teen and you still consider yourself carefree, like, go fuck yourself. Like, what planet are you living on that you don't have worries, you don't have concerns? But that's how she is. And there are people out there, there are women adults out there who are the same way. And that's what this is basically about, is these carefree assholes who basically just go out and do whatever they want. And this character is a great example because she's, in the course of the movie, she breaks into somebody's house because she likes the way that it looks. It's on the beach, and she's like, oh, let's pretend that we own this house for the night. And so she, like, tries to get Jim Carrey to break in. They go out on this frozen lake, and, you know, she's not a petite girl, Kate Winslet. So there's no telling whether or not that ice can hold her. And she just runs out there like it's no thing. And then, of course, Jim Carrey's sitting there on the edge of the lake like, Jesus, is this bitch going to fall in? Like, am I gonna have to go in after her? And then Jim Carrey, well, we'll get to that in a minute. But let's keep focusing. What other cunty things did she do? She just had this attitude about her of, like, I can do whatever I want. And there's going to be somebody there to clean up the mess. I can light this house on fire, jump out, and then somebody's going to be there with the safety net on the bottom. And that's what Jim Carrey did. And now Jim Carrey was another character. I didn't like his character as well because he just represented this pussy male, I will acquiesce to any feminine whim that I come across because I'm such a vagina. And so, for example, there's a scene where Jim Carrey is speaking freely about her hair. It gets recorded, and then she overhears it. And he doesn't like her hair, but he's never told her that to her face because he's a big puss. And so they're listening to this tape, and he's like, what's with the hair? Like, who does she think she's fooling with? It's like I forget what the lines were, but whatever. He had a problem with the hair, rightfully so. She's a fucking adult with orange hair. Like, go fuck yourself. Yeah, that is an issue. And then so she overhears this tape while he's in the room, and he's like, oh, I don't have a problem with your hair. It's like, just fucking own what you said and get this bitch straightened out, because you're correct. You are correct in saying that this 40-year-old woman shouldn't be dyeing her hair the color of her fucking mood. And then she names the colors. Ugh, it's awful. Her hair went from orange to blue to, I think, green at the end, but I can't remember. And, yeah. And Jim Carrey is there, like, just pussyfooting around the issue, even though he does have a problem with it, and he won't own up to it. And so that's one thing about Jim Carrey. What's another thing? Yeah, he's just, every time she does something inappropriate, like breaking into somebody's house. That's, breaking and entering is not like a first date activity, but it is in fucking Clementine's world. And he's just sitting there like, do I go with her or do I back out? There should be no hesitation. Well, that's a red flag right there. Once a woman's like, hey, let's break into somebody's house, you just march right in the other direction. Like, get clear of that situation, because it's gonna be problematic. It's not gonna be a good relationship. But Jim Carrey, the pussy, doesn't believe that. Then there was the whole thing that I'm trying to convey here about the male end of it is these dudes that are out there that just don't have any kind of principle to them. So if some piece of tail comes along and says, I like such and such a crazy thing, and then the guy's like, I like that too. Like, he's just diving on this situation where he can perhaps get a chance at sacking her. And yeah, like, this happens all the time. It's happened to me where, I've been dating women, and I generally like to call them on their bullshit. I'm not saying that I'm 100% consistent on this, but I think I'm more consistent than most guys. If I see some unacceptable shit, like, I'm gonna say something. But I was in a situation where I was dating a girl and there was another guy that was interested in her. And I'm not gonna be specific, so I'm gonna make up I'm not gonna list the specifics because then the person will know who it is, but there was the other guy. Let's say this girl was like hardcore Republican, and the guy that she was considering dating was mild Democrat. And then she one time, she comes up to him. She says, "I'm a Republican." And then instead of having principles and sticking with what this guy believed, he pretended like he never thought about it in his life. And he was just like, "Oh, yeah, I guess that I never spent a lot of time thinking about politics, but I guess now that you mention it, yeah, I guess I kind of am Republican." And that kind of like just backing down in the face of like potential pussy is just despicable. I fucking can't stand it. And these dudes do it all the time, and women respond to it. Like, how, as a woman, how can you respond to that? Like, what kind of man are you trying to end up with if he's going to compromise that quickly on, like, basic beliefs? Like if some good-looking woman brings up, like, genocide, and then it's like, most right-thinking people are against genocide, but there's a lot of dudes out here who, upon hearing that a woman is pro-genocide, would be like, I never gave it a lot of thought, but I guess, like, destroying an entire population based on race, like, I could get behind that. Now that you mention it, I think I could, I could see myself, like, rallying behind that point. Like, would you like to have sex with me? Like, that kind of compromising of any kind of morals or principles every time. Sick of it. And women, you need to be more picky about these dudes because you're seeing it firsthand. If this dude instantly agrees with you on every single point that you make, like, that should be a red flag to you. Like, this guy ain't got no backbone. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but that's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Check.